Hi, everybody. Here's another episode of Fearless Now. Mike, my traveling co founder, is yet in another part of the world. Hello, Mike.
Hello from Arizona, Scottsdale.
Very nice. So, today we wanted to bring you a really cool article that I stumbled upon, which we thought was highly relevant based on what we talked about yesterday about the future of work. So I am going to read you the headline. Wall Street finfluencers are making over $500,000, and here's how. And we thought this was really interesting because there is, the article goes on to talk about a 25-year-old TikToker from Tennessee who's posting videos describing how to retire like a millionaire by using the platform Betterment. And so Mike and I started thinking about this, how some of the young generation are basically paving their own path and creating jobs for themselves that again didn't exist years ago. And there are companies like a Betterment or a Fundrise or whoever really kind of infiltrating the space. And essentially they're paying these extended marketers, right, an extension of their marketing and PR team, to be out there and influencing their brand and bringing people into them. I mean, what a creative way. And this guy actually used to have a very traditional job and did this TikTok thing for as a side hustle, and it's now turned into a full-blown career for him. So we thought it was interesting to talk about.
And it very much fits with the fearless mission, and we have a couple of them, but one of is educating that next generation on all the different options that are open to them. Yep. And we recently reposted a very short video of Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, where he talks about that if somebody were to ask him 2-3 years ago what kind of career he would advise, what kind of education, he would strongly suggest engineering, mechanical engineering, software engineering, was some type of a hard skill. And what he says now, that he will prioritize storytelling and ability to communicate, especially in this attention deficit economy where everything has to be delivered within seconds in order to make a point. He's now paying quite a bit of money. I think he says $150,000 to young generation that knows how to communicate. And that's a very big change. And this is also the change that Jack Ma of Alibaba talks about. And Mark Cuban talks about the fact that empathy, social skills, ability to tell a story is going to be a very important part of the future, because many of the hard skills will be automated.
And a lot of what, the mode of communication was also interesting. Mr. Wonderful also said, I'm hiring photographers and I'm hiring, PR folks, I'm hiring marketers, I'm hiring creatives. Just any way to figure out whether it's a visual or audio communication to that audience. If you're a journalism major, if you're, a photography or the arts major, those skills were thought of as starving artists, and now they're coming into play where you're kind of honing in on them and still utilizing the strength of your foundation of your soft skills in order to create a career. And I thought it was awesome to see what they're calling finfluencers, or what now they're talking about FinTalk, which is financial services and TikTok. And I wouldn't have imagined that I would have put the words financial services and TikTok in one sentence until today.
And from the Fearless co-founding team, we're very happy to see that there's so much focus on this young generation on being well-rounded, because previously, as just a blueprint of American education and career progression, was that you become a doctor and you're good at that. But Deepali mentioned that it's well known that doctors are some of the worst investors there, just because they focus on this. And I fall into a similar category. I was a very good technology person. I was not a good investor. I did not think about finances all that much. So I'm very happy that the young generation, and we see that they focus on psychology and spirituality and investing, which will lead them to be successful.
Yeah.
I have a question for Mark. Anyone that is able to, or statement, craft a storyline about the topic these days is in huge demand. And this is, Mark is a friend. He works for IT bank infrastructure, and specifically in that IT space, because I come from that, ability for technical people to explain to non-technical people is why one of the reasons why I stopped developing, because somebody on our team had to do it and fell to me. So very happy that there is more and more focus on these non-traditional, and it's a part of future of work the way that we see it. So we just wanted to highlight this to all of you parents. Talk to your kids about this, and then if they want to create a YouTube channel, I would suggest that you support it.
Yeah.
Less booty shaking, more thoughtful content, right? And help them tell a story. I'll give kudos to my partner and a good friend, Dave Nugent. One of the biggest things that he was teaching us as technology delivery people is that even if something breaks, right, and if technology things break, come up with a story that makes it reasonable to the consumer, like to the customer, right? If we're trying to pitch a client, it's not just about the product, it's how do we bring value to that customer. It's all about storytelling. So I've been focusing on that quite a bit. So the seminar that I'm attending today, one of the biggest things that I took away from previous instance of it is that communication is not about what you say, it's about the results that you get.
Yeah.
Right? And it's so much resonates with me about like I use the words matter to remind myself, to remind my kids when they say I can't or I don't know. Those are not the words that you should be using.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep it short for today.
Yeah,
Just wanted to provide that to you guys.
We just wanted to give you a little dinner table conversation for tonight. If your kids are thinking about non-traditional careers, or you're starting to have those conversations at home, here's something non-traditional that is exceptionally fruitful. And a 25-year-old that started in a very traditional job is making upwards of $500,000 by using TikTok. So it's very real and it's very out there. So join the conversation with us. Tell us what you think, and tell us what your dinner conversations are like with your kids around these topics.
We're actively monitoring all of our channels, so please post comments. We would love to hear how you think about the future. I think we as leaders and as parents need to really think about like how are we guiding our kids to make sure that they will have a successful future.
Yeah.
Have a fantastic Friday and a weekend.
Have a fearless day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Mark.